Well, we are live once again, live here at Carolina Retirement Planners and our weekly happy half hour. How are you doing, Samantha?
I'm doing very well, and yourself?
I am good. I am good. We are, if you are new here, we are a retirement planner here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and every Thursday at 4:30 since I don't know May or June of COVID of 2020, we've begun to have this to get together with folks when we couldn't have face-to-face meetings. Dang, it's been so popular. We keep going and bring another topic every week. And this week, I think we are going to do your future. We're going to show you how we have some insight into your future and what path you might or may not be on. So we're going to do it up here behind me. It's going to be fun. But and who else is here? Who else do we have joining us on this the person running the show is Amy, right, Sam?
It is. It's Amy, our Director of Client Fund.
Hi, how are you guys? Hello.
Amy's the one that figures out how to take and run it on Zoom and feed it into Facebook and then put it on YouTube, and as well as you can access all one. How many have we done now, Amy?
This is number 129.
129 of them. They're available. Easiest place to find them is you go to our website, Carolina Retirement Planners, under events, and they're all listed there, and you can search for keywords and find the one that may be of interest to you. We've got them on inflation, we got them on all kinds of tax stuff and all kinds of investment stuff, and guests from lawyers and all kinds of folks. So hey, we always like to start and have some fun and talk about a topic. What is our topic today? What was a question we sent out? What's our
or what day it is?
Yes.
We always have a topic, and it's
topic.
always the day.
Yeah.
Today is National Pizza Day, which is why I have this shirt on. I was like, well, it's maybe pizza. It's got triangles, and
it reminds me of like the carpet in a place like back when I was a kid.
Okay, yeah, like Chuck E. Cheese or something. Right?
Yeah, it's like it looks to me like they took it up off a Chuck E. Cheese floor and made a
100%.
dress out of it, you know?
Yeah, it's 100% what happened. So yeah, I asked everybody if they could send in their one pizza topping, which is hard. Like if you only had one, what would be your one pizza topping? And I know that you guys know, but I was a little shocked by what the number one vote was.
I am shocked too.
I know, right?
I'm not
If you
shocked.
could have only one topping, what would it be?
Yeah.
What did they vote for?
Pineapple by far. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, well, not by far. I mean, pineapple had the majority of the votes. And then coming tied in at second place was pepperoni, sausage, and mushroom. And then they went down. And then after that, anchovies was in third, tied with tomatoes. And we also had some votes for like spinach and barbecue chicken and things like that. But pineapple, number one today.
Oh, I'd like to throw out an additional question to our listeners, because we are here in Wilmington. Most of you are probably here in the Wilmington area, and you know, we all came from somewhere else, and you know, some people were from New York and New Jersey, where, you know, you had some really good pizza. I always like that New York pizza. You take it and pick it up and the grease runs down your arm, and it's just so good you just can't stop eating it. And there's some people I hear that come from Chicago and like that cake that they kind of pass off as pizza, you know.
It's so good, yes.
So if Amy, if you don't know, is a native Chicagoan, you know, is that what you call them?
Chicagoanite.
Chicagoan, yeah, Chicagoan's good. Yep, that's right.
So you know, why don't you type in, if you have here in Wilmington, would you consider the ultimate pizza place a place? Because I had a conversation with some folks that were in here today about this. We were talking about pizza, we were talking about where can you get a good pizza in Wilmington. So if you know, if you type one in, we'll gather up some other inputs on pizza. Maybe we'll all find a couple spots we haven't experienced before. Yeah, that would be good. And
It's gonna
and
be
Sam,
hard
why
to
don't you
find.
say hi to some of the folks that have checked in so far?
I was say it's gonna be hard to find a Chicago pizza in this area. If somebody knows, let me know. We had a place
Yeah, I
in North.
wonder why. I wonder why.
No, it's because
No
it takes a long
pizza cake in
time.
Wilmington, you know.
No, because it's a very crafted art. That's why it's not a thin
It's
piece of slop. Yeah, just
Very
kidding.
few pull it off, you know. So who's joined us, Sam?
So joining us today, Debbie and Jean, hi y'all, and Bruce, happy Thursday to you as well. We've got Dan and Barb down in Florida. Hi.
Oh, in Florida. Hey, Dan and Barb.
And Jay and Carter, they've got a new grandbaby, a new little granddaughter.
Oh.
So congratulations. And Bill joining us from Miami, and Susan and Barry, hey y'all. And Linda, hi Linda, and Sammy, hi. And Mary, I agree with you. Pizzetta's was my favorite pizza in Wilmington, but then they closed down their Wilmington location, and so I don't have a favorite anymore. And Susan likes Slice of Life, which is classic.
You know what I like? I like Augustino's. Have you ever been to Augustino's over by Target? Oh, that's probably my new favorite one. They have a veggie pizza that I'm crazy about. Like, I love it. It's so good.
I've heard Brooklyn pizza is good. I haven't been there yet, but I hear that's a good one. So let us know where you think where your ultimate pizza place is, and we'll get on to it. But we're 7 minutes.
Dad, are you?
Wait, you guys didn't answer the question on what was your favorite pizza topping. We need to hear before we go any further. So go ahead, and then we can proceed.
Pepperoni. I mean, geez, you know, a really good pepperoni on a pizza contributes to that necessary grease that's floating along the top, and yes.
Well, Amy, you and I have agreed that if we're limited to just one topping, that it's probably fresh tomatoes.
Yes. And that's what I was replying in my email today. I was like, oh, mushrooms. No, wait, tomatoes. And then I said, wait, sausage. But no, if I think about it, 100% sliced tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. I agree.
Nothing like it.
I don't know. I still don't see how it can compare to pepperoni. And you know, when you cut it real thin like that, it's much healthier, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, all right, Dad. Well, what do you think?
No, David, that's not what.
I couldn't slip that by, could I?
Well, the Chicago ones, aren't they like pretty?
Yeah, it's like a stuffed. I mean, it's super thick. And so now I like the Chicago. Go ahead.
Not the circumference is not as rotund, or is it?
No, it's not as wide. It's more, it's thick, it's deep. And I have to say, I'm not a big fan of the cornmeal crust from Chicago. I don't go with that traditional kind. I go with a different Chicago. I go Illuminati's if I'm doing that. So, but all right, you guys go at it.
All right, Dad. Well, I think it's time to get to it, right?
It's time we get to it here.
All right.
If I can get my camera to behave. There we go. Aha, there. Well, we're here today to kind of talk about your future and how we have a lot of insight into your future, and why do Sam and I have insight into your future? Well, if you think about it, where's my, there it is.
Oh,
We're all here in the now. And we're all headed for the future. And over the years, we have met with a lot of people and got to know them, their story. We also, because of the advisory business we're in, we know people really well. We know about their their money, and we know about their health and their family and their worries, and there are a lot of things that go into making a future. And we've got to help direct some and ensure some. We've also seen historically what's happened to folks that have come in, and there's been a lot that can help us understand the future. And so if you're in the now and you're headed to the future, let's kind of model it, think about it, 4 different outcomes. The first one I'll call the dark green outcome.
That sounds, I like green. That sounds like, all right.
You're going to be on the dark green line, and this becomes your best future, your best retirement. Now, when I say best retirement, it's different for everybody. One person will have a different view or vision or desire or for their best retirement than another. But let's just have some fun and take like one example of what that could be. And we know a lot of people that they like to travel, and their goal is once or twice a year they're going to fly across one ocean or the other and visit some far off land. And what might that best retirement look like? Well, one thing it might look like is that when they go fly out, they get into first class or business class. You walk into an international flight, business class, they hand you a couple of glasses of champagne, you're toasting each other and you're smiling because you're looking forward to a pretty comfortable next few hours in that seat. They bring you that little bowl of hot nuts, and you're just like, I'm going to have a good time. And you go off and to the great vacation you have planned, and you're going there in class. You're treating class, and you're probably spoiling your grandchildren when they're back home when you see them as well. That's what you could call maybe one example of your best retirement. But then we also, let's say you don't get quite that good, and you get on what I might call the dotted green line. And this retirement, well, I'll call it a fine retirement. The fine retirement, well, maybe you're still traveling, you're still flying across the ocean, but now you're probably getting on you're walking back to that coach area where you're going to sit in that little seat for the next eternal number of hours, and you're going to walk by all those folks with their champagne and no hot nuts for you, still a fine retirement, but maybe not as good as it could have been. Now, let's say things go wrong, or not as good, and we get on what I might call the dotted red line, and we get to what I'll call an okay retirement. If you're in the okay retirement, well, you're probably not traveling as much. Maybe you're not getting to see and spoil the grandchildren as much, but you're having a comfortable life. You got to watch your budget carefully. You got to, you're still getting 3 square meals a day, but you're probably, cutting coupons to get those and probably eating them meals at home more than out at a restaurant, but you're okay. And then finally, if things go really wrong, you have what I'll be frank, you have what I'll call a bad retirement.
Uh-oh.
This is where, you don't have the money you want. You may have to downsize. You may have to ask your kids for money or go move in with your kids. This is where it turns really bad. And so we have a range of retirements that we might end up on. Now, there's a couple things. One is, there are a lot of forces. If you're here, there's a lot of forces trying to drive you down. There's a lot of what I might call natural forces that are trying to get you off the solid green line and drop you lower. And there's not any, aside from maybe winning the lottery, there's no natural forces that are trying to drive you upward. You have to work to get there. Well, some of the things that might do that are, well, we all now know inflation is one. We've seen it raise its head again. Inflation can affect you in retirement. Another one is taxes. You know, we often joke, though it's not really a joke, that the tax law is written in pencil and it's changing all the time. And also, from our perspective, you know, if you sit back and think about it, there's about $30 trillion in debt in the country, and there's about $30 trillion in IRAs, 401ks, you know, that's where all the money is in the US, and they're going to be working to, over the next decade or two, to drag more of that money in to pay for the taxes. So a lot of things that are trying to maybe reduce the amount of money you'll have to spend just from a tax standpoint. There's also risk. You know, if I have my nest egg, what's the risk I'm taking? Another big change that occurs is when you were working, we often talked about ROI, and that was return on investment, right?
Yep.
Sam, when you're retired, what does ROI stand for?
Reliability of income.
Reliability of income. It's no longer, we no longer have the luxury of taking risk and watching things go up and down as much, or at least all of our, much of our money. What counts is that we got that solid paycheck that keeps us on that line. So that changes as well. I thought I'd give you, you know, I talk about how risk can be one of these forces that drive you down. I want to give you the worst example that I have seen in the 22 or so years I've been doing this. It happened right here in this room about 12 years ago. It was around 2010. They came in to meet and they told me their story where they had a risk that they didn't even see coming. They retired in around 2005. And when they retired, they had $2 million in their nest egg.
That sounds good.
And yeah, they went out and they split it in half and they invested each half in two different malls. They bought one of these real estate investment trust sort of things where they kind of lend the money to the mall, and the mall was paying them 8%. Each of them was paying them 8%. So they had $160,000 income plus Social Security. Man, they were sitting pretty, and they were on this line, and they're feeling really good. And that's 2005. We got to 2008. What happened in 2008?
Things went really bad for the mortgage.
That was a big crash. The stock market crashed, but so did the real estate market crash. And you know, we've got a mall here on Oleander, and I've been going to that mall since 1981. And it, you know, for many years after 81, it was a nice mall with top, you know, fancy, good high-end stores. And back then, you know, I can quite frankly remember in the 1980s, sometimes you would go to the mall just to wander around, kind of window shop, hang out, because it was such a pleasant place.
Yes, I remember that.
You remember that? You go to the mall, hey, let's go down the mall, wander around.
It was like an outing in itself. I do remember that.
It's like an outing. You go to the food court, get one of those pretzels, some ice cream, whatever, wonder, you know, if you're a guy, you'd wander through Sears and fondle the tools, you know, all that kind of stuff you do. Well, if you remember, in 2008, the mall began to change. The stores were closing. They were empty. Businesses were going out of business. And the mall was hurting. In fact, you saw some of those stores, I remember they started to fill up with things like tattoo shops. And, you know, the kind of people that window shop at tattoo shops, you probably didn't want to go there for a good time to be with them, you know? So the whole thing, and the basically the malls went bankrupt. Well, guess what happens? When a mall runs out, doesn't have enough rent to cover them and everything else, and they go broke, guess who is left holding the bag? I don't want to use that word, gets, you know, punished for that.
Oh,
And it's the
no.
people that got these, that gave them $2 million to get these 8% returns. They lost all their money. The 2 million was gone. That was the way the contract was set up. They were left with just their Social Security, and they were down here. And there's nothing we could do about it. And so when they did their planning, they didn't really take risk into account. Somebody sold them all their money in those two things that they thought would be there forever. Maybe we all did, but someone who does investments, no, you don't put all your eggs in one basket, you know, because all baskets can go bad, and that's how so you need to manage the risk so that you can weather the storms to stay up here in the green area if that occurs. Now, a lot of folks may say, well, how do I get up there? What does it take to get there? Well, there's a number of things you need to do to get up there and stay there. There's a number of things we call activators that we do over time, looking at people's taxes, setting up different strategies, looking at legislative risk and all this stuff to stay up there. But here's something you need to realize. If you're just retired, and early in your retirement, you're in this area here. And to get from here up and get on that green line and stay there, that's the closest you will ever be to doing it. If you're down here and you want to get back up to this green line later in life, it's really hard. It's really hard, if possible, to make that happen. So you want to make this jump early in your years. And one other thing I think I'll point out, a lot of times when you're planning retirement, you're taking all these things into account. It's nice to have a floor here where you kind of say, hey, I don't care how bad it gets. I want to be sure that my retirement never falls below that line. And that's another thing that we've helped people, you know, implement in their planning. So that's a little story about your future. We can see the possible futures and just make you aware that, boy, there's things you need to do, work you need to do to get on that solid green line and stay on it and reach your best retirement, whatever it is. It gets you there to the land of hot nuts. So, okay.
I like the land of hot nuts. Yeah, that makes sense. This made a lot of sense. Thank you.
We have a giveaway, don't we?
We do.
This is a little book called Roadmap to Retirement. So if you'd like to get a copy of this, Amy will tell you how you can do it, and it is printed on dead trees. It's a real book. And we will deliver it to your house by a uniformed. Well, they hardly ever wear uniforms anymore. Employee of the U.S. government. So there we go.
Yes, I put it in the comments, and I will add it to the beginning of the video as well. In the comments, the description. But all they need to do is send Mary an email, and she'll get it out to them.
Do we have any other people we can say hi to that said hi since we started?
You do.
Let's see. Well, Teresa has said hi. George, it is good to hear from you there in Leland. Bill, who votes for Osteria Chinchetti. I think that's the one that's out
in the forum.
Yeah, that's in the forum. I've never eaten there because you can't get in, so it's probably a good pizza, you know. Bruce and he likes the mellow mushroom. They like their house special pizza. Ed, good to hear from you. And Miranda, Kim, and he's up in Wake Forest now. And okay, so
Okay.
we are at 5 minutes of the hour. We have something else we have to accomplish here before we
We
say
do.
goodbye to everyone for another week.
I just want to say that my dinner tonight is supposed to be some sauteed Brussels sprouts and a pork tenderloin, and all
Pizza. I vote
all this
pizza.
talk of pizza is just screwing me up, guys. Just screwing me up. But I'm gonna try to be good and stick to my
Be
Brussels
good,
sprouts.
be good.
All right. So we
And
each
we have to have a health food special night. What's your favorite health food?
I know, yeah. Can we have a healthier food day, Amy? So I'm salivating over
I'm not in charge of the national holidays. I wish I was, because I would come up with some really fun ones. But
beef salad day.
I would love a beet salad day. Yes. I mean, I love me a beet salad. Absolutely.
No, we
Oh.
did my green shake day, so it's certain makes
You do
sense.
that every day. That's an everyday thing for you, though, right?
Well, it's an everyday for him. That's true. That's true. Okay. All right. Each week.
Normal? Oh, no, you have to talk about it. I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So each week we raffle off 2 bottles of wine, and they'll be delivered. If you win, they're delivered directly to your door. They come from Fermental Bottle Shop. They're newly located in the Cargo District in downtown Wilmington. It's a really cool spot. You should go check them out if you haven't been there yet. And if you want to enter to get in the wine drawing, and please get your name in here. If you're going to be here, why not? Even if you're not going to be here, why not? You don't have to be present to win. If you are on Facebook, you just click I'm attending each week. We'll have a little event up that says what our topic is. And if you're on our email list, we'll send out an email each week to let you know what our topic is going to be. And you reply to that and let us know what your favorite pizza topping is, or whatever the question may be, and we'll get you entered again. You can enter both ways, and I'll get your name in here twice. So if you're not on our email listserv and you want to be, oh gosh, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to get.
I'll put it in there. I mean, if they send me an email, I will be super happy to add them. And if for some reason you stop receiving your happy half hour emails, let me know. Sometimes people accidentally click and unsubscribe. We've had that happen a few times, and I can go back in and learn how to resubscribe you. So we can do that too.
Mm-hmm. All right. So our winner this week of 2 bottles of wine delivered directly to their door from Fermental Bottle Shop is Chet C.
Oh, yay. Yay,
So
Chet.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
Chet.
You are our wine winner this week. To everybody else, please keep entering. I love giving away wine. It's basically, we just meet every week so we can give away 2 bottles of wine.
What are we talking about next week?
Ooh, next week we have the 3 stages of retirement. Unfortunately, we will not have like a healthy, I just really quickly looked at the days, and they're calling it Fat Thursday, which I guess is in conjunction with Fat Tuesday.
Interesting.
So no health food next week either. So be prepared.
I got a lot of expertise when it comes to fat, so we can.
I got that. Yeah, we need punch keys. I gotta get some punch keys for next week. I'm gonna find a way to make that happen. Love me a punch key.
Or the battle against it, or the.
Yeah.
We will see you all here next week.
We have to find the baby
for Fat Thursday and the 3 phases of retirement, which is another fun one. We're doing it's a little more kind of and also the lessons how you get the most out of those phases. So we'll have some fun there.
Yeah, absolutely. We're ahead of the game. I love it.
Now I'm craving a po' boy too. Oh my gosh.
Maybe we can do your favorite fattening food, or something like that.
I'll make it happen. That'll be our question next week. That's what I'll put it in there. Everybody start thinking. My dog Turnip's barking. She's chumming in at who knows what, but Yeah, your favorite fat food. I'm doing it. That'll be our question.
Okay.
Like it.
So we'll see you then.
Yeah.
And till,
Bye, everyone.
cheers,
Oh,
everybody.
cheers.
And,
Cheers.
and
Cheers.
enjoy,
Bye-bye.
enjoy your week. See you then.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a
Yeah.
nice weekend.
See you next weekend. Bye-bye.